This is Cybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map Hostile Hostel for game number 1 of another subscriber replay extravaganza. How many games are going to be here? Who knows? As always, there should be time codes in the description and maybe even some recommendations of which games if you want to just power through the best of them. Anyways, in the top left-hand corner as the Cyan Allies. Hey now. Going airfield first, this is Soupy. Their ally to the top right as the Yellow Empire, this is Noobzor 187. And that looks like a fast third refinery, or if that wasn't a third refinery, that would be a very weird placement for your second refinery. Meanwhile, in the south, making up the other half of this 2v2 as the Red Empire, it's PrinceOni. So we have the KingKonG unit, QueenOni, the great Empire player from years ago, and now PrinceOni. Meanwhile, as our lone Soviet player, this is Michael. I mean, I guess there's only one allied player as well. Fast War Factory as well. Okay, we definitely have a couple of... this game, I feel like I've already seen this game, but it was like Yurii Prime or Plane. I feel like this game is giving me some serious deja vu. It was a fast airfield from the Allies in the top left. There was an Empire player in the top right, and I don't remember the rest, but I think the Southern team got pushed into the middle. But, like, I feel like I just watched this game, but apparently not. Although I guess it is possible that two people would have sent the same replay, just separated out. Anyways, if I've already cast this game, well, we'll see, but I think it was different players. Double Vindicators coming through, bunch of barracks coming up in the middle of the map, and this game is giving us no opportunity to do any further intros. So double yellow oil derrick cap, and a bunch of attempted caps of oil derricks in the middle of the map, as we saw. And actually, PrinceOni may actually be getting this oil derrick after all of the Vindicators, all of the bombing runs, the fast airfield, heading to the middle of the map. 2 oil derricks, and this one's not going to be denied. Oh, Noobzor living up to his name, using his Imperial Warrior to kill another Imperial Warrior instead of killing the more valuable engineer and denying the capture of that oil derrick. Fast airfield terror continues as an MCV move to the south may be pointed in the direction of a turret push, but that is not for this moment. The sickle gets dropped. Nice, well, not perfect, but good enough. Oh my gosh, so many bullfrogs coming out of everywhere as these bullfrogs cycling around the map looking for openings and opportunities. And actually, Michael, I don't know that that's GBH Michael. It's probably not, because there are weird numbers, you know, it's like Leet speak numbers integrated into the name. But a little bit of Tengu harass happening. Nice use of those bullfrogs. I do want to say that. That was a pretty good bullfrog placement. He almost got a Vindicator and an Apollo. Just the Vindicator is a good enough trade, though, for one sickle. And keeping those Vindicator numbers low is something that's always important as a Soviet player. We'll see now that the MCV is in the middle of the map. And the... oh, yep. It's going to be a turret push. So this is a triple refinery turret push. So this is well established. It's not a super aggressive... I mean, it's a cheesy play, but it's not a super aggro turret push heading into the south side of the map. Noobzor up to a good number of Tengus, and triple refinery worked out pretty well for his opening as well. He had some harassment to deal with, but he's got a couple of static defenses up and running. Ooh, Apollo gets the catch on a Tengu there, so PrinceOni will see, I think, pretty much everything, especially now that a multi-gunner turret and a barracks have been deployed inside of Michael's base. PrinceOni, as you can see, showing up with the Tengus for the defense. He's not going to jump on the Peacekeepers who are jumping inside of that Civ structure, and Michael will want to clean that out so the Peacekeepers don't make way for Javelin soldiers to quickly do any kind of laser lock. And at the same time, oh, these are just bullfrogs, so there's no real threat against the base of Soupy. The multi-gunner turret doing a good enough job, but an additional multi-gunner turret possibly getting deployed, and no, I don't know what it was, but either way, the power plants are not enough, and this Vindicator getting sniped. It's an additional airfield being deployed in the south, and this is just going wrong for Soupy. Tengus from Noobzor show up in the middle of the map and actually going to be providing some real damage. That bullfrog carried along that bear running sideways in a funny look there for just a couple of moments as that bear was catching a ride, and this sickle and these bullfrogs Bullfrogs about to get annihilated by so many Tengus. The Tengus finally turning their guns on those Soviet units and cleaning them up. Michael crumbling as the multi-gunner turrets come back online, but the Vindicators being kept at bay, it looks like, by the Tengus of PrinceOni. PrinceOni, in theory, has a lot of free space to run around on this map. He's had those 2 oil derricks for a good long time, and all of the assaulting has happened in the middle of the map or here in this southern corner of the map. Not so much on the PrinceOni side of the map. So PrinceOni has a little bit of space to breathe, but I think that's about to get trampled on. Tengus from Noobzor showing up to really seal the deal here in the south. Soupy, kind of ran out of steam for a minute there. The multi-gunner turrets weren't really doing as much as he had hoped. His Tengus, or the Vindicators, were getting shut down by the Tengus, but now that Noobzor is here, they may actually be able to break this base. Double Vindicator run against that Tesla coil, and the Tesla coil barely going to be able to survive and push down this multi-gunner turret, barely hanging on there. And Noobzor actually pulls away because there's a turret push or something. I don't know what's going on with this MCV. I don't know what the plan is here. This is just an Empire MCV hanging out in the base of Noobzor. What is your plan, PrinceOni? What? Oh my, if he gets the crush, that would be the most incredible crush, the most incredible kill of... Okay, so he's going for the build radius. That was his plan, but it wasn't deployed soon enough, and just now it looks like Super Reactor in the middle of the map, but it looks like Barracks going to be deployed on the north side of the map for Michael. Toxins also getting dropped, but the reactor is trying to save the build radius. There's too many Tengus here. The MCV maybe even getting caught by the toxins a little bit and trying to buy time for the Tesla coil, but ultimately it will not be enough. The toxins possibly even working against that Tesla coil there, as nothing would be able to come to its aid. 3 tsunami tanks going to be creating some space on the left side of the map, though. Soupy not necessarily going to be able to stop that, maybe spread a little bit too thin with all of his base defenses. Finally gets another airfield up, gets an additional multi-gunner turret, but is that going to be enough? He actually does have enough power plants to sustain this kind of amazingly, possibly just due to these 2 power plants here in the top right corner of the map, as well as that seaport. Goodbye, MCV. These strikers will take that down. The Tengus will be here to guarantee that the engineer doesn't grab anything. If this engineer jumps inside of that MCV, that will be the greatest MCV grab possibly of all time. Double MCV, as this might be an MCV cell on the left side of the map, or it'll just be an MCV combo. 2 multi-gunner turrets at once, or 1 building while the other MCV repositions itself. 1 tsunami tank getting sniped. Things are falling apart for Michael and PrinceOni, although Michael is pretty nicely accommodating himself into the center of the map, maintaining 1 refinery down here, still getting lots of value from that location. PrinceOni is close to out of this game in terms of actual units. He's got these tsunami tanks, but unless he finds a way to deal with the strikers, which might just be bullfrog... Oh no, there's flak troopers inside of the Civ structures. That's how he's going to deal with those strikers. He's just going to let the flak troopers slowly work away at them. Even with flak troopers attacking those strikers, they do manage to get a couple of kills, and finally the bullfrogs are out pushing away the strikers with only a harvester kill and a couple of tsunamis between them. Javelin soldiers cleaning up that refinery, and goodbye harvester as that gets eliminated. Soupy should probably take this time to expand at least once more, considering he's got the double MCV work going on. He's going to need more income if he wants to keep this up, although if he's only building multi-gunner turrets, he may not actually need that much more income. And ooh, Javelin soldiers barely not getting the kill on that Chopper VX. The Transform stopped their auto attacks from finishing it off. Strikers are going to be needed in the top left-hand corner as these tsunami tanks are going to be working away at these Tengus. I'm not actually sure. Okay, they're waiting for the Vindicators. That's why the Tengus were backing off, letting those tsunami tanks get some extra shots in. Bullfrogs once again claiming a couple of extra striker lives, as this striker is going to get the kill almost on that tsunami, but just barely. The Bullfrogs take it down. Noobzor almost losing every single non-Tengu unit in this game. He just cannot keep anything alive if it's not a Tengu, and the tsunami tanks are getting so much damage. Noobzor once again living up to his name. He was just trying to crash through those tsunami tanks to attack the Bullfrogs, but the Bullfrogs were way out of range of of those Tengus. I cannot believe how much free damage these tsunami tanks have done to those Tengus. That was an insane amount of Tengus. Unbelievable amount of Tengus getting cleaned up by these tsunamis. Are you kidding me? Every single Tengu donated away to the charity of PrinceOni wrecking this game. What a charitable donation for the holiday season. Beautiful donation there by NoobZor. Absolutely heartwarming. Can you guys believe that for Christmas, like a year ago, PrinceOni got in his stocking 40 billion Tengus? What a donation. What an amazing display of not gratitude, but what an amazing display of charity and of gracious donation. Oh man, what a generous donation. This refinery, I guess, is eventually going to be going down. Freezy, easy Freezy. The button gets pressed. Goodbye, refinery. And, well, he got the sell-off. Good old PrinceOni got the sell-off. Gonna be needing another refinery sooner or later. Got himself an additional con yard after his mishap with the first con yard. That whole play, which was a fair idea if it had been, the execution had been a little more on top of it, a little cleaner. Nothing wrong with the old use the Empire build radius to get a barracks and a Tesla coil up and running in your opponent's base. Once again, strikers raining from the skies. The Bullfrogs just crush them time and time again. A little bit of auto-attacking from that Tengu gun happening with this hammer tank. That tsunami tank taking a bit of extra damage, and now the turret push will continue. The double MCV. Soupy going to be coming back from the dead. He may need some extra cash just to funnel into all of his turrets, as he's got 2 refineries there on the right side of the map. Lovely economy for Soupy. 5 refineries, kind of crushing it compared to pretty much everyone else. I think Michael has 3 in the middle of the map, but as a Soviet player, that's going to be maybe not enough. We'll see. He seems to be doing pretty good. He's been getting a lot of value with those bullfrogs. So why do you need more? Why do you need more cash when the bullfrogs do all of the work for you? NoobZor built some more stuff. We'll see what it does in this moment. 6th refinery gets added on. Soupy is potentially getting to a point where he can maybe 1v2 this. It'll require him to get something to actually be efficient with. He'll need, you know, cryocopters or aircraft carriers or something. You know, he needs something to actually put the hurt onto his opponents with, although he could go full C9 mode and just do it with multi-gunner turrets. He may actually be trying to do exactly that. 2 multi-gunner turrets at once, going to allow these tsunami tanks to escape. Dolphin gets sniped very quickly there, and this single tsunami tank way out here on the water, this might be one from earlier in this game. PrinceOni getting the snipe on 2 harvesters and going to be calling it away at this moment. NoobZor going for the harass, and NoobZor happy with his 3 refineries, but going to be trying to take one away from PrinceOni. Nice kill there. Easy Freezy once again. Nice and easy. 1 click, you get a kill. Gonna even save his bombs. Nicely done by Soupy, saving those bombs, getting the kill on whatever was constructing there. And this tsunami tank getting back to work. Soupy, he's going to be falling apart. He just dropped a bunch of cash over here on the right side of the map. And, well, these multi-gunner turrets, there's 3 of them here. They're not doing a whole lot. That's the cost of a refinery. Well, a little bit more, but he's lost 2 refineries. So Soupy's starting to fall apart. Michael and PrinceOni were looking like things were going downhill for them. But honestly, they've really been able to come back in this moment. Those wall segments, I'm not sure that they were really doing anything. They may have gotten just enough time. No! The Tesla coil doesn't get the last shot off. Instead, the wall segments will try and preserve that flak cannon in the middle of the map. The hammer tank numbers have been growing. Michael, with the center of the map under his control, has been building up big time. What a fantastic way to start off this this series of subscriber games. And it's November as I'm recording this, so we're heading towards the holiday season, at least here in America. Most places around the world, holiday season, end of the year kind of times. But hopefully this is I think, a very giving series, and, well, this video is a very giving game to start out with. Although, Soupy starting to pull things back. He's going to get the kill on the War Factory. Now, this doesn't do anything to stop the gigantic army of tanks in the top right-hand corner of the map, but it does mean that reinforcements in the form of Empire units will be a bit slower to the battlefield. Soviet units will continue to reign supreme as V4s getting their damage done against that War Factory, against the MCV as well. 2 Tsunami tanks up close and personal with these Hammer tanks, and the Hammer tanks will be able to deal with them as the Tesla Trooper gets in a shot as well. Goodbye, multi-gunner turrets. You are not long for this world. V4s targeting them down, and the multi-gunner turrets will be annihilated. Don't need to give away any health of these Tsunami tanks. Big sell-off of a bunch of buildings. No MCV, no War Factory. Noobzor is pretty much out of this game. What you see is what you get. Noobzor has been defeated. Soupy, it is all up to him if he had been able to tech up, and he has indeed gone up to Tier 3, but what do we have to show for it? One single aircraft carrier that can be overwhelmed. I think Soupy is going to have to retreat pretty much entirely to the water. One single Javelin soldier, it looks like, getting the kill on a War Factory and something else, possibly a Tier 3, possibly the Battle Lab going down there, as Soupy now going to be taking over the base of PrinceOni. PrinceOni relocating to the center of the map, making that a very crowded space. Noobzor has given his last gift in this game. Couple of Soviet units dotted around the map. Michael going to be closing in on the top left-hand corner. Easy Freezy gets a win once again. Just kill the Harvester as well. Might as well deny that extra bit of income because, hey, why not? And Soupy is going to be out 2 more refineries. Still 10 grand left in nearly 20 grand between the 2 refineries there. So, still a decent amount of cash left over, but he's extracted lots of value. Tsunami Tank's going to be making a run on the left side base, and they're going to get the airfield. A great kill there, and actually beautiful activation of the special ability to get those nano swarm deflectors or whatever out of those Tsunami Tank, to get them away from that multi-gunner turret. And oh my gosh, Harvesters die so fast to a double heroic Tsunami Tank. Just annihilated. Almost the amount of time that it takes them to get from the ore node to the refinery. And taking a bit of extra damage on the rear armor there, but not at all a problem for 2 fully heroic Tsunami Tanks. They're going to heal up, no problem. Dolphins now heading to the left side of the map. Actually, second multi-gunner turret. Whoa, it's actually going to split the damage, so it won't break. These Tsunami Tanks, they need to get out of there. They cannot stand if they're not going to attack, and barely! Oh, that Tsunami Tank survives! PrinceOni! Don't die to the splash! Don't die to the splash! Oh my gosh, the Tsunami Tank! Ooh, getting so close to being annihilated. I think the friendly fire of a V4 would have cleaned it up. Soupy almost out of this game. He has taken over the bottom right-hand corner of the map. He has got a couple of power plants dotted around the map. Always nice to do a little sweep of the map, see if there are any of those sneaky allied power plants. They often deploy them at the edge of their build radius, and then get themselves something with it. And by that, I mean they just use them like an insurance plan. Oh, the Tsunami Tanks getting jumped on. Dolphins showing up. And the multi-gunner turret and the Dolphins, too much. The MCV gets sold off. Soupy is going to try and hang out in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. He's got 1 refinery back up and running. Second refinery, not just yet. He's only got 12 grand left to harvest. And the rest of the map is ripe for the taking. Iron Curtain coming up. PrinceOni needs to get himself a second refinery. Oh, actually, he's got this one up here. Needs to get himself potentially a third refinery, although 2 is fine enough considering the situation he's in. He can pump out a good number of Tengus, even a couple of Strikers on 2 refineries. That is a respectable amount of income. And, I mean, it's a 2v1 situation, so it's not like he has to win against a 2-refinery allied player or something with 2 refineries, so... Ooh, Easy Freezy misses Natasha by just an inch. Satellites raining down cleans up one of the Harvesters, and that's actually going to be a slowdown on the Riptides, but it may actually allow them to kill all of these frozen units that much more quickly. 2 frozen units do survive, and it looks like that V4 going to finish off the multi-gunner turret. Balloon bombs getting called in. They will deal with one power plant, but with the power plants spread out around the map, this probably won't be enough to send him into low power mode. My gosh, this guy has 5 multi-gunner turrets in this area. And of course, multi-gunner turrets notoriously bad at stopping V4. Soupy has been defeated. The GG gets called. Michael and PrinceOni take the win in a pretty action-packed round and round game. And it was definitely a rush to the middle for PrinceOni and Michael. And Soupy just kind of engulfed the entire map on the edges, but was never able to secure the win. Had a good amount of income at some point, but I'm guessing he spent too much of it not building an army that could do anything for him. And, well, that will do it for game number 1. Action-packed, but let's see what game number 2 brings us. And game 2 takes us to Magmageddon for a 3v3. In the top left-hand corner as the orange allies, this is ASDF. GHJKL colon or semicolon, I don't remember. As the Green Empire, their ally in the middle, this is KingKonG. And rounding out our first team on the left side as the blue, as the Empire also, this is GoDoFWaR. Playing random, getting Empire. Meanwhile, in the bottom right-hand corner, playing the red Soviets, this is OBIEK. Playing across from GoDoFWaR and playing across from KingKonG as the Yellow Empire. This is Bashley. So it's going to be Empire versus Empire in the middle. Meanwhile, in the north, as the Cyan Soviets up against ASDF, this is Michael. So we've got ourselves a 3v3. Allies, Empire, Empire on the left, and then Soviet, Empire, Soviets on the right. So a nice little division of the fast third refinery. Nice little division of the factions between the teams. It's not like, 5 of one faction and 1 of another faction or something. But fast 3 refineries from Bashley right out of the gate in the MCV move into a defensive but, third refinery defending kind of location. Peacekeepers pushing in the north. ASDF starting off with some aggression, but not too much of a commitment. I mean, he's still producing some Peacekeepers, but he did get both of his refineries behind this, so it's not like a double Peacekeeper, huge delay or anything. Bashley looking for some oil derrick steals, it looks like, finding at least one. GoDoFWaR playing that random, getting himself Empire. We'll see how much damage he's able to do. If I'm OBIEK, I'm a little bit worried here in the south doing a 1v1 against GoDoFWaR. Burst drone gets sniped there. Nice little delay. GoDoFWaR doing a little scout, passes through. May even see this refinery getting established in the north. Yeah, he's going to fly right over it, so pretty good scout of almost everything that the team on the right side is doing. There's the transform going for the attack. Maybe a double transform from GoDoFWaR. Yeah, he needs to get out of the air considering he's going to be losing this Tengu fight one way or the other. He's trying to maximize his time and maximize his damage by getting up close and personal. He's instead going to be going for the damage on the Harvester. Nicely done there by GoDoFWaR, getting as much value from a losing situation as he possibly can. Well, that sucks. Loses the super reactor almost immediately, very shortly after it was built. Bashley going to be going for the kill on that Harvester by killing GoDoFWAR's Tengu. So GoDoFWaR trying to go for the kill on that Harvester, but it doesn't work out. But the honorable discharge does the damage for him. All things working out for our team on the left side in this first couple of minutes. OBIEK going for a Tesla coil push against... Wait, where is this? That was off of build radius from Bashley, I think. That Tesla coil getting some good damage against these Tengus. Going to be cleaning up possibly all 3 of these remaining Tengus. It's going to be close, but that Tesla coil is almost healing through the Tengu damage. Are you kidding me? OBIEK just crushing it with the efficiency of this Tesla coil. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many Tengus this Tesla Coil is getting. Only with the Honorable Discharge does it win. Hammer Tank showing up in a single Bullfrog. Ordinarily, I would say that isn't much of a problem, but honestly, with the number of Tengus that have gone down in the last minute of this game, that probably would have been a problem without the help of the Vindicators from the north. ASDF bringing out the guns, the air guns, or the air bombs, bringing the bombs. He's bombing out, but in a good way, helping his friends by bringing the bombs. Harvester harassment going the other direction now as Bashley gets some damage against the Harvesters of GoDoFWaR, repaying the favor with that Honorable Discharge, doing the extra burst damage to that Harvester. And OBIEK now going to be bringing the pain on the ground, not just the Tesla Coil against the infinite number of Tengus of his opponents, but instead utilizing those Hammer Tanks as well. Super Reactor back up and running. Fourth refinery coming up for OBIEK. OBIEK definitely bringing the pain into this game, and he is a powerhouse player on the right side of the map. I was worried for OBIEK going against GoDoFWaR, but honestly, GoDoFWaR has got some pressure that he is going to face. OBIEK backs off with the Hammer Tanks, but OBIEK is nicely set up with these 4 refineries. He's had a good opening, and I think he's going to be able to transition well into the late game. Okay, so he's starting to work towards Twin Frog, it looks like. He's got his airfield coming up. Vindicators take a bit of passing damage from those Bullfrogs. Michael, now that he is kind of stabilized after having so much trouble in the early game, he built that super reactor relatively quickly, but it got sniped or engineer capped and sold off, and then he was down a Harvester as well, so Michael has been having a lot of trouble establishing himself. 3 refineries finally up and working on the land. The 4th one out on the water, not actually harvesting at the current moment. And it's going to be Bashley and OBIEK joining forces to pressure GoDoFWaR. One multi-gunner turret is here. GoDoFWaR looking a little bit light on the forces. We'll see if the multi-gunner turrets buy enough time. There's going to be the cryo shot coming down. Easy freezing, not going to be a win here, as it might get one Tengu. No, it gets nothing, as the Tsunami Tank stretching forward and doing a bit of damage, but ultimately going to have to back off because this is too much firepower for one lonely Tsunami Tank to deal with. Bullfrogs taking some shots at the Apollos as ASDF AFK in this moment from his army in the south because he's trying to pressure in the north. Assault destroyers standing out there, but no, it doesn't even matter. What is this going to be? I think this is going to be toxins dropping on these. Oh, and he's going to miss. If it's toxins, he just intoxicated the area. I don't think that's right, but it's good enough for me. And this is going to be a double Harvester refinery snipe. Bashley going to be pretty much out of income, out of cash, and he gets one of the, well, actually, he gets the Imperial Warrior as well, but he gets one of the Tank Busters, loses 2 refineries for it, and he's going to be hunting down the sudden transport with his Harvesters. Meanwhile, back on the left side of the map, it's going to be Twin Blades, it's going to be not Tsunami Tanks, it's going to be Tesla Coils. The Tsunami Tank for GoDoFWaR is actually just doing nothing against this Tesla Coil, and it's actually going to get a double crush. The MCV going for a triple crush, a quad crush, not quite gonna get him, but a triple kill for that MCV as he cleans up 3 Tsunami Tanks and keeps his Tesla Coil push alive. Oh my gosh, these Tank Busters for KingKonG getting so much value, cleaning up a couple of Tsunami Tanks there, and finally, Michael has been able to stabilize with so much stuff going wrong for him in this game. It looks like he is back up and running. He's got that super reactor nice and safe next to Bashley's stuff. Somehow the Tank Busters did not attack it, and this one Imperial Warrior are going to be able to get the kill on an additional Tank Buster there, running all over the map to try and hunt down those Tank Busters, but it finally will pay off. Engineer gets sniped. I think that's an MCV cell from GoDoFWaR as he is strapped for cash, it looks like, and possibly about to drop out of this game. He's got a Naval Yard up there in the top left of his base, to the northeast, west of his base there, but the MCV going to be getting pushed away. ASDF drops the multi-gunner turret. It's going to be a sell-off. OBIEK will keep the Engineer alive for now. The Tesla Coil will get shut down, just barely staying alive. GoDoFWaR is now back on his feet. He's got the War Factory that survived. The Engineer is going to get hunted down, but you have to force fire on the ground to actually get the kill on the Engineer. Multi-gunner turret's going to be trying to hold the line against all of this crushing firepower of the Hammer Tanks. Lovely lockdown with the roar of those bears as the hammer tank cycling around trying to deal with the... Oh, the EMP locks everything down. Perfect move there by ASDF. Beautiful EMP from the water, way the heck out there. Gets the shutdown of every single hammer tank. One hammer tank left, but the infantry deal with it. Great moves there by ASDF, turning that situation around in the blink of an eye, and Michael committed so many of his hammer tanks to that assault. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to push too much further forward against the forces of ASDF. ASDF still has 2 assault destroyers standing by the airfield, and the aircraft carriers also waiting to do damage to that Soviet army. OBIEK regrouping, and he's going to get caught by the Tengus in the sky. The Bullfrogs showing up a bit too late. The Twin Blades all survive for the current moment, but they are battered and bruised. A couple of them less than half health as they close in on this Tsunami tank. One Twin Blade goes down, but the rest do survive. That Tengu trying to find additional damage. Aircraft carrier going to be working away at this ore refinery. Not much left on the ground for Michael in his original main base. Just 2 ore refineries, one of them about to explode. Bashley pulls a big group of Tengus to the left side of the map, looking for an angle, looking for an opening, as he's going to be assaulting KingKonG, and maybe it'll be a combo move. OBIEK's Twin Blades and the Tengus both looking for an opening, but currently not finding too much. They're going to dive on a harvester. There's the transform of... Oh, actually, KingKonG coming back to defend, but it's going to be Apollos and Tengus joining together. The Bullfrogs chasing those Apollos away. OBIEK just enough anti-air to keep his Twin Blades alive, keep them valuable in this game. Strikers starting to work away at the Tesla coil, back and forth on both sides of this map. It has been an absolute chaotic mess almost from the word start, as this game just will not calm down. KingKonG now pressing in, but the tank busters almost the only damage dealers as this one Tesla trooper locks down 2 tsunami tanks. Michael keeping himself in this game by defending Bashley a little bit here, but ultimately ASDF's Javelin soldiers causing some problems, and the tsunami tanks almost all going down. ASDF unlocking those 2 tsunami tanks and keeping KingKonG's hope of assault alive for a moment longer, but he's down to just 2 tsunami tanks. How that attack went from good to bad to worse to better to worse to bad to dead in about 18 seconds, I don't know, as that was just so much back and forth between all of the stuff going on. This harvester will go down, but now KingKonG can rebuild that harvester, which was bugged anyways. And the wall segment's going to be allowing that harvester for ASDF to get back to work. But KingKonG, his attack isn't over. The 2 tsunami tanks coming back in with Emperor's Rage to break down this refinery with the help of these 2. Well, the Tengus may actually help kill it as they explode, but also this tsunami tank going to be surviving for a moment longer. That ore refinery will go down, I think. As this tsunami tank explodes, that might be the last bit of damage that it needs. KingKonG hunting for a double that tsunami tank, and it gets the kill with its own fully heroic, but no, it gets infected anyways. And no, the ore refinery doesn't die to that tsunami tank as it explodes, and goodbye, it finally does go down. Oh, these terror drones getting so much value. Michael and OBIEK, actually I think it's just Michael with the terror drone plays, definitely getting his value for those terror drones, and honestly doing it like an untold amount of damage to shut down his opponents. This aircraft carrier going down, that assault destroyer going down. This aircraft carrier will eventually get eliminated, but not before it cleans up this war factory. Another bombing run should do the trick or 2. Never mind, as the Vindicators clean it up very nicely there. OBIEK's main base now under assault as Bashley brings in a couple of tsunami tanks to help with the defense. GoDoFWaR, a paltry 2 Tengus for the assault, but it honestly might be enough if these strikers don't have much of an answer on the ground. It looks like 1 hammer tank, fully heroic, will be eliminated. Single vet chopper VX going to be chasing some more of these hammer tanks in the north. But finally, the Bullfrogs are here. They're going to be able to chase away this striker. They pause around the mountain looking for that opening, and they get the kill on the striker moments before that striker kills a hammer tank. And finally, this aircraft carrier will go down. Fully heroic terror drone on the field. Michael and Bashley kind of joining up in the middle of the map. ASDF continuing to pressure as this game pauses for just a moment. Refinery from Michael trying to establish itself in the middle of the map. He's got a couple here, but Bashley is almost out of this game. Actually, as Bashley sells everything off, Bashley is out of this game. Proton Collider gets added to the arsenal of the allied player ASDF. Bears coming in, but the Athena Cannon, oh, it doesn't even matter. OBIEK and Michael have been defeated. The GG gets called. ASDF, KingKonG, and GoDoFWaR reigns supreme, with ASDF having some trouble early on, but really coming through as a powerhouse in the late game. Those aircraft carrier Athena Cannon plays, I don't know about the Athena Cannon so much, but those aircraft carriers doing a lot to defend, doing a lot to attack. Great performance from pretty much everyone in that game. Some really amazing plays and a ton of action. So game number 2 has been fantastic. Game number 1, this is kicking off to be a great video so far. Thank you all for watching this far, and I hope game number 3 is just as good. Which takes us to the not often seen burnt out paradise. We've definitely seen some good games on this map, but it's definitely a bit of a weird one. And that's okay, because this one might be a bit of a weird one as well. In this free-for-all in the north, as the blue allies, this is Zarhnesh. And that is possibly one of the easier to pronounce names in this game. As the yellow Soviets crane first, it's Hats, or rather just Hat. But he is playing Soviets, so if you abbreviate his faction, it's like he's got a Hats. Ooh. Airfield first, the purple allies. This is King B. Not to be confused with the Queen Bee. He is instead the king of all the bees. Oh, lovely engineer snipe. Beautifully done there. And that was a very still engineer. So as the red Soviets, this is jackld. Where will that second engineer be heading? Who even knows? As the green Empire player, this is QJ5S. No, that's really what his name is, yeah. Ooh, and grabbing the garage is the orange Soviets. This is XQW999. So, I think we'll be messing up the names as much as we possibly can. Not on purpose, but that is just what will happen. A little bit of sickle harass. jackld already just taking so much pressure in this FFA. The engineer getting sniped. Actually, both engineers, by the looks of it, got sniped. I don't see anything captured on the map. And there are, of course, Vindicators hunting for those engineers. Look at this. Observation post, not operations, hospital, and a garage all grabbed by X. So he has got himself set up quite nicely. Down 1,000 credits and going super reactor before War Factory. Definitely a gutsy move, but it looks like it's going to be paying off here as soon as jackld gets himself up and running. Couple of IFVs, peacekeepers inside of some of them, moving out for Zarhnesh, and he may be putting the pressure on this expansion right out of the gate. Hat trying to get up a third refinery relatively quickly to go with that oil derrick, and, well, he's going to be punished for it a little bit here. Tesla coil gets deployed. Goodbye, Harvester, and these IFVs need to jet on out of there. Sentry gun at the front will not be enough to defend against these IFVs as they rush past it, although it does barely get one of those IFVs with the Javelin Trooper inside. He did not eject, so they are going to instead go for the kill on that Twin Blade. Nicely done there. Gonna try and shut down the Crusher Cane, go for the snipe there, and it looks like Hat is strapped for cash. As you can see, his build queues are locked up, and he is going to be losing another Harvester and a crane on top of that. Zarhnesh with some big damage right from the get-go. Hat hoping in this FFA that, wait, is this? No, it's not. Okay, that's a sudden transport. Oh no, that's not good. That is a lot of tank busters to potentially pressure anything. And oh, the super reactor under threat. The engineer jumps inside of it just as the bear gets the lockdown on that Javelin soldier. But the Tesla Trooper barely won't get the kill on that IFV. Just barely the Tesla Trooper getting sniped. Another engineer may need to be brought out to save this super reactor. Another snipe, beautifully done there on the bear. Zarhnesh doing so much with so little. The super reactor getting dangerously no additional anything. I think he's trying to save the cash to get that Tesla coil up and running. It may not matter. The Tesla coil gets canceled. Everything goes down. Zarhnesh may have the first kill with his pick of the lot here on Burnt Out Paradise. Cryocopter heading back to King B's base. And Hat is going to have a difficult time coming out from this one. He's still... Well, I guess he has a refinery. I was going to say he's still got a refinery, but he never rebuilt that harvester, so he doesn't have a working refinery. That's it for Hat. He has been defeated. There is no Hat left in this game, and his is out of the ring. Jackld, on the other hand, has stabilized, it seems. He was never in that terrible of a situation. He was down that 1,000 credits. He was taking a bit of pressure, but it seems like King B was going for a bit of an assault on XQW, and so that has kind of... Ooh, what is this in the corner? That has kind of saved Jackld from taking the brunt of that attack. Lovely body block here with the sudden transport and the Tengus. XQ is going to have to deploy a naval yard to try and get something out here to do something about these Tengus, but I mean, you know, it's going to take a minute before he can really reclaim that refinery location. Bear gets destroyed there. Apollo gets sniped. Zarhnesh and King B going to be trading blows a little bit here. The two allied players now getting trapped. One Soviet player eliminated, and our only Empire player seems to be fighting well. Going to be taking 2 refineries for himself pretty quickly, and could potentially expand out to a 5th refinery in total over there to the right. Cryocopters getting the freeze on the harvester. The refinery will be next, but the IFVs will push that away. Zarhnesh taking the opportunity of attacking Hat to get himself a 3rd and now a 4th refinery, although that one isn't working. A 5th refinery should be in short order. Refinery finally coming up, but just in time for the Strikers to show up and absolutely annihilate possibly everything, as the Tank Buster is going to be running away from this MCV, and this MCV, I think, is just going to die. Might be a sell-off to try and get some kind of cash, to try and get something, to try and get some kind of cash. Now, he got the build radius to deploy the barracks, but I'm not actually sure how much that is really going to do. He might get a conscript out of this situation. That might be the only thing he can hope for. Something gets sniped there, maybe a bullfrog getting shut down, and it looks like the conscript got eliminated anyways. Tesla coil or the flak cannon got eliminated, and that supercharged chopper VX doing so much damage as another flak cannon gets deployed here. IFVs and Guardian tanks coming in here for Zarhnesh. He's going to be pressuring King B right out of the get-go after killing Hat. He is now turning his sights to King B, and King B splitting his options. An expansion to the west, and the MCV move to the northwest corner of the map. Well, MCV down, naval yard down, refinery down. XQ is throwing a lot of cash into this corner of the map, but not getting a lot of value for it. And even Baby Bert knows that XQ is not getting the value for it. Zarhnesh has completely cleaned out King B's base, but King B, not turning his guns on Zarhnesh, will instead continue to attack Jackld. King B wants to kill one fellow if he at all can, and actually, whoa, this gives Zarhnesh the entire top half of the map. I mean, discount this little corner over here, little airfield sitting right there. No one cares. Zarhnesh has the ground, that has the land of the entire top half of the map, and he's actually going to be like up to 20 refineries very quickly here, so Zarhnesh may very well run away with this FFA in a powerhouse move of an early kill. This is so many Strikers! This MCV is just gone! Wow, there's a lot of Strikers just coming up out of nowhere. Flak Cannon gets a couple of shots. Flak Trooper, rather, gets a couple of shots there, but it is not enough. Low power mode. No War Factory remains. The Engineer gets sniped, but a crane still exists somewhere for our orange Soviet player. He has got something somewhere on this map. I don't know where it is. It's right there. That's the Crusher Crane. Another super reactor trying to come up. That's not going to work. This is so many rockets flying from 4 fully heroic Striker VXs. Absolute annihilation. Zarhnesh and QJ5S. Just powerhouse players in this game. Such damage coming out from those two guys, and also the potential of taking a whole bunch of refineries. So this might really be a 2-player game. QW999 has been defeated. Hat and XQ both eliminated. XQ having a real shot there, but ultimately, I think getting pressured kind of from two different players at once. QJ and jackld, I think they had a little spat for this corner of the map, and it looks like jackld won out in that exchange. Baby Bert has disappeared. I was wanting to see if where he went, but he is just gone, so I'm sure he's off crushing some Tengus somewhere with the might of the Soviet Empire. Soviet Empire, I'm going to leave it there. Tengu, actually, he's not freezing the ore refinery. He could have frozen that ore refinery. King B making a very slight mistake there. He got the freeze on the harvester for sure, but he did not take as much advantage of that cryo shot coming in to help freeze that refinery as he could have. This is a lot of Tengus. Zarhnesh is going to be getting pressured perhaps two different places at once. So many Tengus coming in here for QJ. And then, whoa, that was just a sell-off of a pretty much full health MCV because he knew he could not save it. He is not interested in saving it. I said this was going to be a two-player game, but this might actually be a QJ game versus, well, actually, jackld is spreading out pretty well, adding on potentially two additional refineries as he drops a flak cannon and a Tesla coil here on the southern corner of the map. And at the same time, QJ is more concerned with the northern half of the map. The ground army from Zarhnesh is strong, but it's certainly not unbeatable. Double Apollo versus single Apollo as Zarhnesh pushes away King B. Eventually, that refinery did get cleaned up, and this cryocopter will get sniped. That harvester back online. Zarhnesh taking some damage, taking some hits left and right, but his double MCV play is now down to, I think, just one single MCV. All right, Hammer Tank's going to help shut down this ore refinery. jackld, who again took some pressure early on, is now going to have to contend with so many. Well, actually, he might not have to contend with any Tengus because the strikers are just going to clean house, just completely annihilate every single Hammer Tank in such short order. These strikers doing so much. Another MCV under threat and just snipe the power plant. Actually, that'll probably take everything else offline. This engineer here waiting, ready to jump inside of that ore refinery, and also just under the most dangerous of conditions. So many Tengus going to get crushed. That flak cannon getting a couple of shots off there. Not necessarily going to be able to kill even a single of those strikers, and the Stingrays now going to be getting targeted down. QJ just crushing it with the unit control here, turning this way and that, getting so much value so quickly, and now taking control of this southern section of the map. Going to get himself another harvester back up and running with this refinery, but that has taken the pressure off of Zarhnesh. And even Baby Bert knows that that pressure off of Zarhnesh is a dangerous thing for everyone in this game who is not Zarhnesh. Strikers now going to be retreating. They've taken some damage, but ultimately with none of them dead, QJ is in a fantastic position in terms of burst damage. Those strikers, if they can get on top of a target, will absolutely annihilate almost anything in this game. But if they get trapped out over water, they're going to be getting shredded if the Tengus are not there to body block for them. King B, he is actually, he's going to be losing some assault destroyers to Athena cannons if he's not careful. Dolphins getting the last shot in on a couple of these assault destroyers, and one, no, he was not going to get the kill. Almost got the kill on that second assault destroyer. jackld getting pushed back towards his original main base. He's kind of shrunk down his footprint a little bit here. And hey, if everyone else is busy killing each other, then you don't need 1,000 refineries. If they're going to spend all of their cash building armies that just break against the other guy's army, you may not actually need very much cash at all to win the game. Let's just see how this develops. Oh man, that burst damage, so much DPS from these strikers. Yeah, Aegis Shield, nothing. What do you think that's going to save you against all of these strikers? You better have a supersonic airstrike coming in from Kane's Wrath if you want to stop this much firepower from the sky. Even the Athena cannon can't survive as the strikers fly over top and get eliminated. One of them crashing onto that Athena cannon. Another Aegis shield does pop. The Naval Yard has been shut down. The Tengu's going to slowly but surely eliminate these ground forces as they've got enough health and firepower between all of them to break down this allied force. Zarhnesh just getting crushed, but at the same time, he's deleting the Empire main base. QJ has nothing on the ground to stop this Empire base from falling as the Allies press forward. No anti-air, though. All of the IFBs stepping back up to the north. This is now a double vet going heroic as these two strikers clean up. The Allied ground army needs to queue up some more attacks. So many Mirage tanks going just into the ground, 6 feet under as this entire Allied force gets deleted from the game. Zarhnesh may be out of it before he even had time to really expand his empire and do anything with all of that expansion. He set himself up so broadly and now taking attacks from 3 different players at once. Maybe 2 different players at once. I might be overstating that a little bit there. 2 different players. It feels like 3 different players with the amount of damage that QJ did to Zarhnesh. But Zarhnesh has survived. Maybe he can sneak his MCV out. No cryocopter to shrink it down. Another Mirage tank getting cleaned up. These refineries are definitely worth taking back over. 20 grand left in that corner of the map. Strikers now turning their guns on the purple allied player, King B. His water expansion here in the northwest is going to be sold off. It's going to be salvaged to try and make a little bit of extra cash, get some extra... What is this engineer going to be doing? That's a sneaky engineer, but there's not a lot of value to be found in that section of the map. More blue buildings going to be under threat. No Apollos, no IFVs, no anti-air of any kind to deal with these strikers. So much damage from these strikers, just crushing through absolutely everything that our allied players have to offer. And this is a crates game, apparently. This is, I feel like, the first crate. I think these guys have done a pretty good job of nabbing those crates. A couple of hydrofoils, but the Tengus are going to be doing the scout. Very good move scouting with the Tengus, keeping those strikers back at least for now. And that was a lot of infrastructure damage done to QJ. Real quick, I did not realize this, but I think QJ actually doesn't have an MCV or a war factory or a naval yard or anything. QJ may actually have only the units that you see here on the map. And oh, he's got a sudden transport. He could actually make this work. He could just produce a ton of harvesters and a ton of tank busters, and that would be his army. Unfortunately, no anti-air. Nice snipe of that super reactor. Gets the kill there and now can shut down the war factory as well. I think if he kills both war factories, I guess he has to get the crane as well. But that'll be a permanent shutdown of jackld. That'll be no more units, no more buildings for jackld, unless he has a naval yard snuck somewhere out around the map. But I think that is it. Pretty much everyone is hamstrung at this current moment. The person with the most production I guess it's Zarhnesh. He's got an MCV here in the middle of the map, a war factory as well, a good number of harvesters and refineries. Zarhnesh might be able to come back from dead, inches away from death, and Zarhnesh has some amount of survivability left in this game because everyone else is just dead in the terms of they can't produce anything. They're all hamstrung. They're all just completely out of it. Please remember that you have this sudden transport, even these 4 strikers here as well. Please remember that you have that stuff. Start ferrying these tank busters to land. Just build an unbeatable tank buster army. And by unbeatable, I mean like 3 Mirage tanks would slice and dice them. But unbeatable by... Actually, they could probably kill... Yeah, they could pretty much kill this Soviet army. No bears, not a lot of conscripts to really wear them down. And it would just be down to the crushing of the hammer tanks. So, can you queue up those attacks? We remain now with 4 players on the map. A weird hodgepodge of situations. Re-expanding to this northwest corner of the map, King B has rebuilt his MCV and kind of re-established himself. QJ is going to be under threat on land, but to be honest, jackld can't really do anything about the water expansion. I guess he could kill the harvester with a terror drone, but he doesn't have an engineer, I don't think, so he can't really do anything about the refinery itself. I think that's out of range for everything. jackld finally decides to make QJ his enemy once again, And in this situation, almost killing neutral structures might be your best option because they'll be easy to snipe and they guarantee that those benefits to your opponents don't go any further forward in this game. Leaves the dry dock alive for now. Spots a fresh expansion ready to be jumped on. This IFV is not nearly enough. The build radius is the first thing to get shut down. Zarhnesh will be crushed out of Hat's original main base once again. Kill the Harvester as well. Don't want to let him reestablish that expansion. And this Harvester bugged. No, it was pulled off the line manually, it looks like, as Zarhnesh with a bunch of IFVs is going to try and jump on this Striker force. Oil Derrick does get sniped. IFVs got to be careful. They do good damage against air units. You can jump on them and try and burst them down, but it's going to be costly one way or the other. The IFVs showing up as well. Tengu's going to try and jump on them. This is so much Striker damage, but this is also so much possible Striker deaths in this moment. Strikers getting on top of the IFVs, both trying to move and shoot as the IFVs will slowly whittle down the Strikers, but ultimately the Strikers will reign supreme. So much overkill happening there as those Strikers really get the kills on those IFVs, but trading out so many Strikers to do it. Zarhnesh will once again get cleaned up. A big chunk of his base gets cleaned up, but he has recovered from this similar of a situation already once before. More IFVs coming in. Not a lot of Strikers are left over. He picked up the 4 from down here. He put them I don't know where, probably packaged them along with his army. Where are the hydrofoils? No, actually, where are the hydro... Oh, there's 2 hydrofoils here. I thought there was like 4 or 5. IFV's getting some free damage against these Tengus. QJ is falling apart here. A couple of heroic Tengus going to be getting eliminated as that finally the Tengus transform to deal with these IFVs. Even with the repairs, it's not going to be enough. The Garage and the Oil Derrick definitely good targets for Jack to clean up. Strikers closing in. King B getting pushed off of the land once again back out to the sea. Oh my gosh, this MCV is actually going to get sniped again. A second MCV going down as the hydrofoils show up. The last 4. The 4 remaining. Oh no, he stops within range of the hydrofoils. 2 of the Strikers go down just as that assault destroyer gets eliminated. The Riptide's going to be the only thing left to kill off these Strikers. And QJ, I think, only has tank busters, and he's trying to ferry them around the map, take every single building that he can, and stuff it with tank busters. QJ has lost his entire mechanized division. I think that's him done out of the game, except Harvesters and Tank Busters. I think that's the only thing he has got left in this game. What a crazy round and round this has been. All 3 of these games just back and forth in crazy ways, and so much action coming into these matches. Bullfrog's here. Jackld has found a sort of position for himself. He built a massive ground army while he had a ton of cash. Oh, he actually has 2 engineers, so he could get himself back into this game, but not with the Soviet tech tree. Actually, only with the Allied tech tree, because there isn't anything... he could get Empire infantry, but that wouldn't do him very much good. Bear gets sniped. King B trying to defend his domain. Alright, Zarhnesh. Well, he's actually got a pretty safe spot in terms of defense against the aircraft carrier. He can't reach into the middle of the map. This is one of those moments where any 2 players could just about eliminate the others if they were communicating, if they were forming an unholy alliance one way or the other. Oh, you gotta be careful with this sudden how did this sudden transport get... I guess... How do we... I don't know. I don't think sudden transports can crush. That was my thought, was maybe he crushed something. But I don't think sudden transports can crush. I'm not actually sure how he got that up and running there. So it's kind of funny that he got a veteran sudden transport. Oh, perfect bark of that dog. Another sudden transport will go down. Yeah, it gets eliminated. Sad, sad sudden transport. QJ maybe leading the charge. I guess he's just... Oh, he's going mass engineer. The plays, the absolute plays. Mass engineer just going to try and run down his opponents. As an allied player, if you had spies, you actually could do quite a bit from just a barracks in the corner of the map and a ton of cash. He still has 2 refineries pumping cash into his bank. Big infantry swell from King B, gonna once again put the pressure on Zarhnesh. This time, it's not the aircraft carrier doing the damage. It is instead the infantry army. But they're gonna run into jackld in a moment here if they're not careful. Tank Buster's getting burned out. Jackld making some mistakes early on, but definitely showing his worth and proving his might as a Soviet commander. But really only after he had lost basically everything. Before that, he was happy to play mostly defensively, which, to be fair, it's an FFA. That's a pretty good strategy, playing defensively. Infantry continuing to press on forward. That's a real prospector. It's not a sudden, an additional sneaky sudden transport. Well, I think jackld almost, like, literally can't win the game because I think there are some spots on the map that he just can't get to with his forces. I guess he could engineer. Yeah, he could walk out with an engineer, but other than that, he can't really win this game. Zarhnesh and King B both have much more of a chance of winning, and QJ, his only chance is to get engineers from this corner to somewhere else on the map, and it looks like QJ is about out of cash. Finally, he kills off that dry dock. I don't think Zarhnesh has had any naval units for quite some time, but if Zarhnesh does build any naval units, he won't have that advantage for this for the rest of this game. Is that a... Yeah, there is a tank buster somehow inside of that building. That is a sneaky tank buster. Zarhnesh is going to be losing that prospector. Well, wasn't doing too much for him anyways, so losing it is not a big deal. Definitely a bit of a pause in this game as these guys have battered and bruised each other within an inch of their lives, and we lost 2 so far, but these last 4 have been absolutely hanging on with all their might, with all their strength. A really scrappy match between the 4 of them. Engineers moving out along the southern edge of the map. They might end up getting caught inadvertently by some of these naval forces. We'll see. But there isn't a whole lot else around the map for them to quickly grab. Most of the neutral structures have been cleaned up. They could get this oil derrick, bit of cash. That would be nice. And the charge of the harvesters, or he's long-distance mining from somewhere, but trying to bring in that extra bit of income. Jackld going to be pressing against Zarhnesh once again. The hammer tanks come in for a big push. Shuts down that refinery. Infantry assault destroyers going to be making their way up the map, or way up the ramp. No, a black hole armor, but he is going to get the crush on one IFB. The second IFB gets the delay crush. Oh, Red Alert 3, if only you had had proper development time to work out some of those things, or a better network system. Oh well. It's always funny to see when there's clearly like a bit of lag in the game, or something visually doesn't quite line up with the hitboxes of the units, that you end up with stuff like that where the assault destroyer dies, but it also had clearly activated the crush on that IFV, and so the IFV dies a couple of seconds later. Easy freezy, big lockdown of those engineers. Beautiful play there, I think, by King B. I think that was a saving attempt at killing off these engineers, but it kind of backfired on him as the engineers... Oh! What are you kidding? What a snipe! What a kill! That engineer, what a hero he is! I cannot believe that he just did that. That's hilarious. Oh, and he gets the kill on that... was that a sell-off? I guess that might have been a sell-off. That's amazing. 2 engineers doing so much. And Zarhnesh well, he may be forced into that little plateau area. He actually has been double MCV for quite some time. Zarhnesh is a big multi-MCV guy. Engineers going... Oh, no, he did. He upgraded to Tier 2. He got himself some Shinobis, so he can actually cross the map there. I mean, they're not as useful as spies, but they will allow him to be annoying. I don't think he can actually kill any vehicles, but boy, can he kill some infantry. Oh, there is a barracks. I completely missed that. That's why jackld has had so much infantry for the last couple of minutes of this game. He has just been pumping all of his cash into infantry. One of those games that definitely... time bomb coming in. Gets called in. Zarhnesh doing what he can when he can't really strike out with units to do some damage to his opponents. He just has to go for the support powers. Do whatever he can with support powers. Command hub getting established. King B gonna take this refinery location away from Zarhnesh, but Zarhnesh trying to maintain some kind of control. Not a lot of cash. I'm not sure what that was. Something just got sniped there and gave away a lot of veterancy to whatever was in that building. More engineers. These engineers are actually from, not from Jack anymore. 2 Mirage tanks get the snipe on that harvester, shut down the refinery. Aircraft carrier continuing its bombing runs, but I think it's sort of out of range of most of this stuff. The MCV repositioned to be more to the interior side of that. Another refinery going down there, so Zarhnesh is really out of cash. He's got this 1 refinery working away. Actually, no, 2 refineries. But he used to have 4 until just a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, Jack with his infantry options and his strong pre-existing ground army is pretty fearsome. If he had been able to maintain any of his other production facilities, well, you know, obviously he would have rebuilt his MCV, but if he had been able to get, like, an airfield, that would have really helped him just win this game sort of outright. But with only infantry and with only the pre-existing vehicles that he has, he's sort of locked into a route, and I'm not sure how much he's really going to be able to do, because stepping out onto the water is so difficult for him. I guess he could potentially take control of the entire land, and as long as he maintains the control of land, then he can lock his opponent out, but he just can't ever kill anyone. Oh my gosh, these harvesters and these shinobis, they are here to stop any assault from coming in. Hydrofoils and an aircraft carrier might be the end of QJ, who's been in this game technically for quite some time, but not functionally in this game. I mean, when engineer attacks are your only hope of doing anything in this game, then you're not much in the game anymore. And look at this. King B, he's like, hey, I didn't realize you were still in this game. You've just been here stealing away this ore. I mean, he depleted that mine probably more from halfway without ever really doing anything with it. Oh, moments before the garage gets frozen. A mistime there from King B or Zarhnesh. Oh my gosh, these harvesters going on the offense, and they are going to do what they can. Oh, harvesters, if only you were able to be heroes. And actually, the harvesters are going to get a kill on a hydrofoil by way of friendly fire. This aircraft carrier running scared as the harvester comes for him. Ooh, these tank busters. They're actually going to eat up one of these hydrofoils. This is when the boats didn't come for the boys on the beach of Dunkirk. And, Crow getting firing off on the ramp. This could be a big problem for the Soviet army, but it is going to be an engineer getting sniped. Oh, the engineers getting shut down there. The hammer tank's out of range, it looks like, of that IFV, though. Sells off the war factory, and I think does damage to his own stuff. Another MCV going down. Zarhnesh has lost 2 or 3 MCVs already in this game, and it looks like these tank busters will be eliminated one by one. MCV is going to try and rally against these hammer tanks. One of these hammer tanks actually surviving the freeze. So that's good for... Oh! 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 The plays! The plays by Zarhnesh using the Chrono Swap ability. Not something you see very often, if at all. Look at that. He escaped with that MCV. What a great move there. Does it really do anything for him? No. But it does look cool to do. QJ5S has been defeated with only 3 players left, each one of them with a chance of taking this game. Jackald with the strongest ground army, perhaps, although this is a lot of allied infantry, so maybe not with the strongest ground army, considering he doesn't have any ranged weapons to use against them. Hammer tanks will get done up by this many peacekeepers, and the flak troopers, I'm not sure, are going to be too much use. I don't know if maybe... Oh, actually, he's going a ton of bears. I was going to say, I don't know if maybe bears might be the better option there, but obviously they don't do anything against the tanks, so if the bears can clean out the infantry, then maybe the hammer tanks can deal with the rest of King B's army. Zarhnesh has teched up, and honestly, to be... King B should actually be unkillable from this position. He has got Zarhnesh, who is the only real threat to him, sewn up, and he can get Athena cannons, he can get sentry bombers, you know, he can do a lot of other stuff rather than just build infantry, which is the only thing that Jack can do. I don't know why King B doesn't have like 1,000 Athena cannons, to be honest. I'm not sure what is stopping him. Or Chronosphere, honestly. Chronosphere would do big damage to this army. Big chunk of flak troopers just disappearing. Alright, Jack is going to try it. This might just be a big mistake, but let's see. Can the Soviet army run away fast enough? He presses in. Hammer tanks leading the charge. Nothing to leech as they stop. The bears rushing forward. He's going to be going for the roar. And the barrage tank's going to try and shut down the bears. Nothing really getting locked down by the roar. And now the allied armor steps forward. The hammer tanks going toe-to-toe. But it's going to be the Cryogeddon that pushes him back. He freezes his own stuff. He's going to be losing everything to the time bomb. What will unfreeze first? I think the infantry will be able to get out of there. Maybe not the tanks. He's going to go for the kill, killing everything that's frozen. The infantry a thaw out, but the time bomb is still frozen. The big retreat there. As who called in that time bomb? I actually don't know. Did King B call in his Cryogeddon on top of himself and basically freeze his own forces? Because that might have actually given a real chance to Jack. How much? There's still a handful of Mirage tanks. 3 Mirages left, it looks like. Aircraft carrier circles around the south side of the map, hunting for more and more targets. Ooh, managing to sneak out the side, Zarhnesh, while everyone was distracted fighting each other. Zarhnesh has established a couple of expansions. Got himself back into this northeast corner. Got himself the 3 o'clock base as well. Riptide's coming in good numbers. Hammer tanks trying to pick off this army. If it's a straight-up engagement, the Allied wins. But if you can draw it out, the Soviet has a chance. He needs more bears. He needs more infantry to stop this grind, this just grinder of Allied infantry. They will crush those tanks with sheer firepower. Hammer tanks stepping forward once again. The bears are going to lead the charge. It's up to the Mirage tanks to stop the bears from annihilating this infantry army. The clock is ticking. Starting to work away on these base defenses. The refinery is almost certainly in range based on the range of that, based on the position of that aircraft carrier. The refinery, and I think the super reactor as well. That's the Cryogeddon that he was looking for. It's going to split the army in two. This is your moment to rush forward. This is your moment to crush forward. And that is the timing that he was looking for. There we go. Finally, he pulled it off the right way. Flak troopers getting up onto the high ground, shutting down one refinery, but not enough to shut down the entire base. The freeze wears off, and a couple of units do survive. The refinery gets eliminated. King B showing himself to be the king of this game, the king of burnt out paradise. If he wins that game, that'll actually work quite nicely. I think this super reactor is also in range. He can cozy up to that coastline to get those kills. The barracks is still here, the garage giving some extra longevity to all of these vehicles. Although there is a garage on under King B's control as well. And King B, he's going to have to turn his attention now to Zarhnesh. Zarhnesh has been allowed to survive all this time. Zarhnesh, who could have been sniped by Athena cannons long ago. King B now has to turn his attention away, and it leaves open an opportunity. Jackld is going to be stepping forward. Giant freeze! Easy freezy crushing through. Is he going to get the kill, though, as the IFBs come forward? One after the other, the Mirage tanks get eliminated, and the IFBs fall, leaving only a couple of Mirage tanks left. Sentry bombers for the big payoff. They're going to try and cut the infantry army in half as the sentries all go down. The forces survive. The IFVs, like lambs to the slaughter, showing up too little, too late. Zarhnesh getting pushed back. Goodbye, but that is not good enough. Oh, if only that was an engineer to cap the MCV. The Athena cannons watching over. The Athena cannons step forward. No, they turn back around. They know not to leave that MCV unprotected. Moving forward, this is your chance. Jackld could have tried to go for the throat, but now the army turns back around. Zarhnesh has been pushed away, at least for the moment. There is a bit of respite from the attack. Lovely combo there. That time bomb can be, at level 1, the time bomb can be insta-sniped by the precision bomber. Ooh, a little bit of extra cash here. The bonus crate for Jackld, ready and waiting. Athena cannons on the high ground, going to be poking away at this army, picking off units here and there. Just a random power plant there. Aircraft carrier continues to circle the map. Riptides come in and they clean up so many flak troopers one at a time, engaging under the watchful eye of the Athena cannons. But now only the Riptides left out of range of the Athena cannons. The hammer tanks will win. Hammer tank goes fully heroic. The Athena cannon chipping away at the armor, but not enough to shut it down. The cards, had they been played in a slightly different order, would have come up with perhaps King B being pushed off the land once again, and possibly being thrown into like a death throw, a death roll, as he seeks to survive only out on the water. But instead, King B was able to push back Zarhnesh and separately push back Jackld. Big Cryogeddon fires off here. The MCV, what is the... I don't know what the plan there was. A Cryogeddon is never going to freeze an MCV. You need 2 of them for that. So I don't know what the precision bomber on the MCV was. It's like he thought that it would freeze the MCV, maybe because he really wanted it to. And then, instead of killing an Athena cannon or something, he was like, I'm going to get the MCV. But it didn't work. Mirage tanks. Okay, yeah, there are some Mirage tanks here. I've never seen a Mirage tank. Cryogeddon fires off! Once again, the freeze will lock down a couple of Riptides. Not much more than that, and there is going to be the bomb, which will get some of this stuff, but not a lot of it. Oh! That was a distraction, almost entirely. He gets the Riptide, a couple of the Javelin soldiers as well. Looks like he may have grabbed that money crate. Apollo's watching over this army. King B says, hey, I saw that you got a bunch of sentry bombers. Well, that is not going to work. Actually, wait. Super reactor, harvester, refinery, 2 power plants. One of them is pretty low on health. There's like 7 buildings left for Jackld. If they focused on the buildings, they wouldn't actually have to beat the army at all. Jackld could be eliminated by just sniping his buildings, possibly with aircraft. Possibly with an aircraft carrier. I'm not actually sure. I think this stuff would be in threat. All right, King B turns his attention now to Zarhnesh, and once again, this is the opportunity. I'm not sure if it'll actually work. It hasn't worked previously. King B may not actually be committing to this attack fully. Let's see. Bullfrog's leading the charge. The bears are on the tip of the spear. Pushing around just 3 Athena cannons. Somehow that's it. Sentry bombers going for a big run against whatever was here. Perhaps a naval yard getting shut down or an airfield getting eliminated there. Chrono Rift going to be deleting these buildings for a moment and brings them back just in time to bring the pain against these units on the ramp. But the Cryogeddon, I think, would be needed to stop this army. Can Zarhnesh actually make the defense work? There goes the MCV. It blinks away once again. I don't actually know where it went. Out to one of these refineries, perhaps, as he sneaks away to the water, away from this battle, away from the danger. And the Athena Cannon's going to be getting the kill from the low ground, it seems like. But everything else might be forfeit as the Athena Cannon's continuing to poke away at this army. Zarhnesh's land expansion once again going to be getting cleaned up. I think the forces might be too much. Beautiful snipe there. And no, King B just barely won't have the forces. The Athena Cannon's on the low ground doing so much to keep him alive. But at the same time, his main base has been assaulted. The flak troopers and the bears getting the kill on everything, it seems. Did the hammer tanks even participate? Where even are they? As those mines from the flak troopers, boy, they do not do a lot of damage, but there is a lot of them. As that observation post goes down. Oh man, this game just absolutely nutso. As these players, these 3 players, have just been trading left and right, trading everything all around them. What are these bears doing? Attack the stuff that's killing you! Just attack the stuff that's killing you. Javelin soldiers going to be getting eliminated, and this refinery now will go down. Oh my gosh, refineries die so much quicker to flak troopers than observation posts. Apparently observation posts are like kryptonite for flak troopers. Just like flak troopers, it takes Superman a lot of mines to kill off kryptonite with. I don't think that makes a lot of sense, but it's something. Oh, I guess you could build harvesters. You can build harvesters forever, and that could get you terror drones. That doesn't really do much for you, but you could get a couple of terror drones that way. It has been... What just happened here? King B moved his MCV to the top right-hand corner, and it looks like he chrono-rifted Zarhnesh, who's got an MCV building facility down here. So he can get himself another MCV, potentially. Cryogeddon fires off. I think he's going to snipe the refinery. He's going to use a multi-gunner turret to do it. And, well, that is going to be it for Zarhnesh in the northeast corner of the map. But, honestly, jackld is kind of crushing through everything on land, so I don't know where this leaves us. Zarhnesh will probably not be killed off here because the flak troopers are probably just going to get caught up on the terrain and eliminated by overwhelming... Oh my gosh, he blinked away again! A hydrofoil trading places, and he actually got 2 naval yards out. That's amazing that he managed to get 2 naval yards out, and it looks like he's actually going for the tier 3 upgrade as well, so he's barely gonna be able to get it. He's so low on cash. Zarhnesh, he's gonna get it, but he's not gonna have anything left. Yep, already purchased max clearance, so Zarhnesh has got himself the upgrade on both of these naval yards, but it won't take much to snipe that one command hub. Flak troopers heading out to go for the kill on what little few remaining structures they can still reach. Barracks gets shut down. Dry dock will be eliminated. Zarhnesh might have the best chance of taking this game. He never lost all of his Athena cannons. He's got a couple of Mirage tanks as well. He's managed to keep his MCV alive, which is pretty amazing, the number of times he has blinked that MCV away. King B is still in this game, but honestly has been so battered and bruised, has spent so much of his cash on an army that no longer exists, was kind of fighting multiple wars all at once, and the result is he doesn't have much to show for anything anymore. It's very possible that jackld and Zarhnesh were chatting, and that there was, again, an unholy alliance formed between them. jackld, once again, could go for the oil derrick to try and get himself some extra income in this situation. Cryogeddon locks it down, and that might be a saved aircraft carrier purely by that chrono rift, making it time out. And he gets himself an airfield! jackld is back in it, baby! If he could only get himself a tier 2, he would really be back in it. Vindicators and Apollos are nice. Honestly, the Vindicators would be a huge help to jackld in this game. Hope springs eternal. He actually uses the precision bomber on the Prospector, gets a perfect kill there, with the Prospector timing working out just fine. Riptide shows up to defend that aircraft carrier from this Dolphin, and the aircraft carrier will survive. Hope springs eternal. Oh my gosh, jackld is doing it. I think he's just got the one oil derrick. He's got the garage as well. Not that he has many hammer tanks or bullfrogs left, but he's got some left. You could get an engineer over to the left side. You could sneak out that way. You would have to sneak in from down here. So the rest of these bases are a little bit safe from... Oh my gosh, he's got 4 Vindicators. Oh, but he doesn't have advanced aeronautics. And without advanced aeronautics, Vindicators are basically useless. Not actually, but they aren't nearly as good as they are with that third bomb. That third bomb does so much to make the Vindicators useful. Might be worth going for the power plants. Oh! You can rebuild the Vindicator, but you don't want to have to spend an extra 1,200 cash if you don't have to. Nothing building on the naval yards of Zarhnesh. He got that tier 3, but I'm not sure that he can afford to do anything with it. He's actually re-expanding to some of these somewhat more fresh ore mines. 20 grand on that plateau between the two of them. These two still continuing to churn away all 3 of these ore mines. Although with the free trade upgrade, 3 ore mines is pretty close to the equivalent of 1. So he actually has like a 3 or 4 ore mine. Oh, actually, there's still cash in this ore mine. I thought it would have been depleted by then. Big Cryogeddon fires off. Keeping this airfield is very important. Did he mistime the precision bomber? I think he did. jackld will live to fight another day. Once again, a little bit of cash here for jackld to grab. Apollos come in here, but they get absolutely iced by those bullfrogs. Bullfrogs, easy cleanup there. And actually, this might be an engineer to save the airfield. No, it's 2 engineers heading up to the north. The airfield still has not thawed out yet. Cash still waiting. Vindicators coming in to clean up these riptides. These flak troopers on land are actually doing something here. They're pushing away those riptides. This game went so wonky that there's actually an uncaptured garage over here as well. Alright, airfield has unfrozen. It's not being repaired. And no engineer to try and sneak into that refinery. All right, King B has managed to hold on. Zarhnesh and jackld also managed to hold on. Everyone is just barely managing to hold on here. That would be a juicy, juicy time bomb around all of those flak troopers. Precision bomber would get a big chunk of them as well. Ooh, bullfrog's taking a bit of damage there. Insta-heal because of that garage. And the aircraft drones don't quite get the kill. Oh, well, it was good while it lasted. Unfortunately, it is not meant to be, as the aircraft carrier will clean up this airfield. The Apollos clear out the skies, and jackld goes back to kind of being in an unwinnable situation. Jackld has maintained such a strong ground presence, such a strong ground army that between this entire game, despite the incredible disadvantage that he has been playing from, he has managed to stick around in this game, and he has literally affected the outcome of this game very significantly. I think he's going for the infect. Oh, you gotta be careful with that Riptide there. The Riptide will snipe your Terror Drone real quick. Terror Drone retreating onto the ground, and the Riptide steps forward, but the Riptide going to be going for the save over, or the Terror Drone going to be going for the capture of that MCV from over there. There should still be a naval yard somewhere out on the map, so this is not the end, and the Terror Drone survives! Perfectly executed there. King B loses. Oh, no, he's still got the naval yard up here. Okay, so King B is still in it. Zarhnesh, who I feel like should have been able to win by this point, has just expanded just about everywhere that he possibly can, and has a lot of refineries. Good number of them still have thousands of credits inside, so Zarhnesh, I think, just has like a ton of cash. I don't know, maybe he drops like a war factory or something here on the bottom side of the map, you know, some kind of corner, maybe even here, and then just builds a ton of stuff. He's already got war factories here. What am I even talking about? Yeah, he's got double war factory on the high ground, double MCV, which, speaking of, Zarhnesh, really good move that he went double MCV. Having the 2 MCVs has been really useful for him a number of times, but also the number of times he has blinked that MCV away and saved it at a moment's notice. It's a really good spot for an Athena cannon as well. Gets to clean up on a bear there. Some damage on the other bears as well. Jackld, on the other hand, has done a good job of maintaining vision all around the map with little buildings taken over here and there. He's got pretty good spread of information all over the place. Jackld also somehow keeping this Terror Drone alive. Fully heroic Athena cannon way out on the edge there with incredible range. And that is what I'm talking about. Yeah, you try and walk anywhere near with those flak troopers, they automatically go to a single file line formation anytime there's any kind of terrain. They all take basically the same path, and that single file line formation is just absolutely killer against these Athena cannons, or I guess it's absolutely murderous. It allows the Athena cannons to be unbelievably effective against infantry. If the infantry are spread wide, Athena cannons are terrible. But when they get caught up on that terrain, they get converted into a single file formation. Some of these tight corners on these maps will do that to you. Sentry bombers heading out. 1, maybe 2 sentry bombing runs would actually be the end of Jackld. And again, the army, well, the army would be able to kill them on the return trip because this is a lot of flak. Don't use them all in one place. Well, actually, maybe on the super reactor. But, Zarhnesh looking for the angle. Ooh, forces the sell-off. That's actually a good use because, oh, he's going to drop infantry as well. Trying to do what he can. This 4th sentry bomber needs to come in for a run. Sentry bombers get the kill on that super reactor. That might... No, it doesn't send him into low power mode. What is this last sentry bomber doing? He's split off going somewhere else. Oh, he's going for the perfect angle on... I don't think he'll get both of these reactors. I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? Oh, he was waiting for an opportunity. He thought he could sneak in. Once again, Tanya now getting sniped. Oh, that's why. Tanya is here and she gets electrocuted. Oh, so close, so close. But it will not work. Time bomb with 5 seconds there. Cryogeddon locks down both of those buildings, gets the elimination on them. Zarhnesh with the bomb, the time bomb on the ground. He's actually going to try and take down that time bomb. He gets it while it was frozen. Not many of these time bombs have actually thawed out properly. Hey, we got ourselves a couple of aircraft carriers coming out for Zarhnesh. He's got So much cash coming in. 3, 6, 7, 8 refineries? I mean, they're not all... Whoa! That MCV heals up fast because of that garage. Those were big chunks of its life. And that's I mean, the MCV has a serious amount of health. It can do some real crushing. But that garage is powerful with the MCV. Free repairs. Forget about it. Ooh, a little bit of cash there. He grabs it. All right, Mirage tanks, if they can pick apart the infantry army at a distance, they will reign supreme, but as soon as the infantry get close to the Mirages, they will shred those Mirages. Athena Cannon's firing from the safety of the Aegis Shield. Athena Cannon bros going to be looking out for each other. The Athena Cannon sorority, perhaps, keeping each other safe. 2 aircraft carriers in the north for King B. Barracks and a refinery that would shut down the production of jackld. Not that he has a lot of production anyways. His army has just been slowly whittled down, and finally, that garage is going to be eliminated. No more garage for jackld. Although he does manage to kill off 1 Mirage tank, and an Athena Cannon eats it up. Nicely done. It won't be enough to stop the never-ending onslaught of allied units from Zarhnesh. But jackld has had a fantastic run. You really have to give it to the guy. jackld has been defeated. Wait a second. Oh, and the terror drone spawns in. The neutral terror drone gets spawned in there. Very nice. That'll just, I assume you can't capture that kind of a neutral terror drone. Like, you can't send a unit into it. It'll just be hanging out there for the rest of this game. All right, Zarhnesh. We are looking for him to finish this game out. But King B is not going to go down without a fight. EMP locks down, but there's a return EMP just in time. Mutually assured destruction as the aircraft carriers from both fleets don't have the opportunity. Oh, he actually chrono rifts them out, so the precision bomber won't do anything. I didn't even see it come through with the attack. Time bomb going to be getting deployed, and nicely done there, the timing, although at the same time the cryo actually does catch the aircraft carrier, so if he can get just 1 drone out, he can sink the enemy aircraft carrier. The EMP fires off just in time, locking down those forces and buying precious moments as the sentry bomber shows up, but basically does nothing. A single dolphin sneaking through the front lines. Oh, Zarhnesh with the blaze. The dolphin to break down those cryo-frozen units, and the aircraft carrier survives the cryo, but not the assault of riptides and assault destroyers. But not. Oh my gosh, if he survives this. Okay, finally it goes down. The Riptide gets the kill there. Zarhnesh's naval forces get eliminated. His fleet sinks to the bottom of the ocean. But that is not where his strength lies. His strength lies on the land. If he still has his Athena cannons somewhere. He has Athena cannons and Mirage tanks. He has a ton of them. He just doesn't really have anything else left on the water. And thus we have the land versus the sea. I mean, they can both build aircraft, so there's that. But infantry aren't going to do you much good if you're Zarhnesh. Scanner sweep comes in, gets a good view of the map. Sentry bombers targeting down this refinery. That ore mine has been long depleted. Athena Cannon going to be able to snipe down and force the sell-off of 2 airfields. We'll actually get the refinery as well. This refinery in the corner will get cleaned up. Zarhnesh and King B. Zarhnesh starting this game off with such aggressive plays, shutting down Hat very quickly, shutting down whoever was here. I don't actually remember who was here. Oh, King B must have been here. I think Zarhnesh pushed King B out of this location and out onto the water. And then Zarhnesh was able to maintain some kind of control on land for pretty much the entirety of this game. Still a couple of grand. Oh, nearly 20,000 credits left in those 2 ore mines. Time bomb coming in once again. There's the precision bomber. Gets the kill on 1 assault destroyer. But where's the ground army to stop this assault? Where's the ground army? It looks like it's going to be collapsing in. A single Guardian tank from the south to scare off all of these assault destroyers. The assault destroyers are tough, but they do not have a lot of DPS. They are very slow with the whole shooting thing. Mirage tanks, much more quickly able to crush through an army. Sentry bombers forcing away the units of King B. MCV out on the water. Would be amazing if Tanya was inside of one of these sentry bombers. Shuts down the oh my gosh, that's so many bombs to use on just this expansion. Oh, these Apollos! They may actually get a free kill, pretty much. Very nicely done there. Oh, the Apollo's nearly cleaning up a second sentry bomber. Only the first one got its wings clipped. Airfield gets deployed just in time. The Athena Cannon's not able to clean up these 2 power plants that are way out there. And these 2 expansions continue to churn away, creating more and more value for King B. Both of these guys barely surviving the numerous onslaughts on this game in this game. Zarhnesh, with the sentry bombers, hasn't been able to win it yet. Okay, no, it's going to be a precision bomber. All right. What? Oh my gosh, the power plant doesn't actually go. Oh, he sells it off. That, oh man, 1 Vindicator. Yeah, the sentry bombers are good at cleaning up bases like this. All nicely lined up. But, hey! The Cryogeddon attempting to trap those units, but it's going to be the precision bomber gets the kill on 2 of them anyways. And now King B has all but been defeated. Literally his only hope is to build harvesters, deploy them as command hubs here, sell them off, and that gives you a peacekeeper. That is his only hope. Do not be fooled by these trees and delivery trucks, for indeed these are Mirage tanks. Not trees and delivery trucks. These Riptides are about to get wiped. Nope, never mind. I'm not having any of that. Do you see how many trees are over there? I'm not going there. That's crazy. Ooh, the power plant goes down, bringing us just down to these 2 refineries. 2 command hubs. Oh, now there's 1 more power plant in the north. Please, somebody see this. Please, maybe there's a ton of infantry inside of these Riptides, like 5 javelin soldiers inside of each one. Because that's what you would need to be able to have any kind of chance of cleaning up these buildings quickly. And that's a lot of Riptides heading out to the water. A single double multi-gunner turret gets deployed alongside of these IFVs to chase away the fleet of King B. Once mighty, once striking to sea, now reduced to nothing. As Davy Jones claims another soul lost at sea. King B, the last of them to fall. Zarhnesh will reign supreme once and for all here on Burnt Out Paradise, as the king of the Burnt Out Paradise will not be King B. There's 1 lonely power plant. What a great set of games. I think I'm going to call it with these 3 games. Really solid matches, every single one of them. So entertaining and really enjoyable games that people sent in. I think we made it through all of the 2020. Oh my gosh, these sentry bombers, are you kidding me? Please, someone build an IFV or something. Just kill off these Oh my gosh, 2 of these are fully heroic. They've got so much health, so much damage output with that fully heroicness. Javelin Soldier and an IFV going to chase away these Apollos. And, I mean, he knows that he has nothing else for them to do, so he might as well sacrifice them here. And, yeah, I think these guys maybe all knew each other, joking around, hanging out, having a good time. But a really epic game in terms of the amount of action, in terms of how many twists and turns there were in this. And I think that will be it. KingKonG has been defeated. Zarhnesh takes the game. What a wild FFA here on Burnt Out Paradise. And I think that will do it for this match. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you guys. What? This was... Oh my gosh. That was an hour? Holy cow, I had no idea that was an hour-long game. I was looking at this, I was like, is this bugged out? It says that this is 1 minute long. And then no, it was actually, oh wow, 2 of those guys were like dead before the 10-minute mark. And then the other 4 lasted past the 30-minute mark. And really those last 2 for the last 15 minutes or so. But that will do it for this game, for this video, for this series of replays. Thank you all very much for watching. Big thanks to those who sent them in. And a big thanks to those who support the channel over on Patreon as well. Thank you very much for watching. And this is Cybert signing out.